Hello. Hello, my doobadoos. I want to show you guys some videos that my friends sent to me. So there was this whale, and look, he got stuck. So then he brought them over to the whole family. Look, there's the whole family of whales. So then they got the whole family unstuck. And then look, they took them into a manta ray colony because they're all friends. Look, so all the manta rays were circling them, thanking them. Do you see that? See how they're circling them? That was after they saved the whales. Look. Even the dolphin followed them after. They're all friends in the ocean. And the whales and the dolphin, the entire ocean, thanked them. That's what happened. That's what happens. All of us are friends. We think we're not friends, but we're definitely friends. Like, this is my other friend. He's playing the violin for his turtle friends. And he likes to go play the violin. Look, turtles won't leave him alone. They'll climb all over him if he doesn't stop them. Look at that. They can't stop snuggling with him. This is the thing now. We used to think that animals were supposed to leave them alone. We're supposed to be scared of them. It turns out that's not true. We've all been lied to. Look at this. Look what my friend sent me. Come on. You're not going to believe this cow. Look at that. This cow won't stop snuggling. Look. Look, my friend can't get anything done. Can't snuggle all day. You have to have a balance. You can't just give affection all day. This cow wants to snuggle all day. Look, he's going to snuggle the pig now. They just snuggle all the time. Right? Look how they're snuggling. So I wanted to show you guys that because I posted a video of me and I was at the park overlooking the cliff to the ocean in Santa Monica. And there's all these squirrels surrounding me. And all of the squirrels, they would have climbed all over me if I hadn't stopped them. The only reason squirrels didn't climb all over me is I was dancing around so much. And all they wanted to do was snuggle. And it's not because I smashed all of the squirrel traps. It's because the squirrels love me, because I love them. And animals are just like us. So you know how if you see someone, by the way, I'm going to be in conversation with you guys in a sec. So if you guys want to be in conversation with me, tell me what your struggles are. Put it in the chat. Don't just write the word struggle. Actually, tell me what your struggle is. And I will be able to connect you to a language of the heart. So I'm not the one that has the wisdom. You have the wisdom. And we will explore a language of the heart, which I will talk about once I'm finished telling you about the animals. See, animals are just like us. Animals love whoever loves them. Think about it. If I approach you and my eyes are shining and my breath is deep and I'm leaning my head in a little bit, maybe I tilt it a little bit to the side, just a little bit, then you're going to feel that I care about you and that I love you. And you're going to be able to tell just from my energy, I love you. I don't even have to know you to love you and care about you. And that is the divine love of God that is inside of all of us. It's the most wonderful, beautiful thing in the world. I cannot think of anything more beautiful and wonderful than the divine love of God. And the divine love of God, think about the unconditional love of a mother, how a mother's child can look and it can do, doesn't matter what they say, the mother will love that child unconditionally. This is how mothers are wired to love. God's love is even more powerful. And what if I told you we are all meant to love like that all the time? Even more profoundly than a mother's love. Imagine how a mother's love would be when we actually move into our true nature. Can you imagine how loving we would be? So I'm about to be in conversation with you guys. This live stream is titled Healing Circle because I am Daisy the Venice Healer. I'm the creator of the 5 steps of global liberation, and I'm here to liberate all of us. And I'm going to do it with a boop on the nose. Boop! Because our love is way more powerful than any weapon. And I don't care how many weapons people have in their arsenal. I don't care about how dangerous somebody thinks a government is. There is no power that is greater than our love. Our love is great enough to liberate the whole world. That's what I'm here to tell you. I am not here to save the world, and I am not here to have the answers. I am simply here to boop us on the nose and wake us up and unite us, because all of us together have the answers. All of us together, with our creative consciousness, the truth emerges. One of us cannot have the answer. And the language of the heart, I just like to look through my notes, because I take notes, and then when I live stream, I like to see what it is I want to talk to you guys about. So this is something I wrote that's pretty beautiful. When we are in 5D, love flows effortlessly out of us. We are less generous with our love when we believe we are separate. So think about that. If you think that you're separate, then you're going to think like, oh, I better take care of myself. But if you know that you are a part of the world, think about it. The earth takes a breath. Her lungs are green. Everything green is Earth's lungs. She takes a breath so you could take a breath. And as she breathes, you breathe. So we breathe with her. The same is true for our digestive tract. We go to the bathroom. We are land animals. We are not fish. We do not swim in the water. That's not where we live. We could go in the water and swim, but that's not where we live. We are land animals. So we poop and pee in the dirt. Our digestive tract is connected to Earth's digestive tract. Her skin and her digestive tract are the same. The surface of the earth is her digestive tract. So if we are to go to the bathroom in dirt, it means that we are pooping and peeing directly into Earth's digestive tract. So it is not only our lungs that is connected, not only does Earth breathe with us, but Earth digests with us. And we are cutting ourselves off from this. Not only by what we're doing to the air by depleting our oxygen, but by pooping and peeing in water. We are not giving Earth the correct information because, number one, we're poisoning our oceans. And I live in Santa Monica Beach, California, right close to the border of Venice Beach. I'm Daisy the Venice Healer, and Santa Monica and Venice is my area. I prefer Venice because there's less rules there. This is my area. There are whales and dolphin and seals washing up on the shores dead right now on my beaches. Right now. And I'm letting you know that this is a regular thing because every single year, tens of thousands of gallons of sewage is dumped into our ocean. And that is only in Los Angeles. Imagine it's happening in every single city where our waste is being dumped everywhere. But I want you to think about what I just said. Our excrement, our poop and pee, is not waste. It's supposed to go in the dirt. So it's not supposed to poison our ocean. It's supposed to nourish our soil. This is not rocket science. This is like very, very simple. The language of the heart is very simple. When we live out of balance, then we become disoriented and upset. And we are all suffering. Every single one of us is suffering. Any label that you've been told, it is not true. There's no such thing as a loser. If you don't have friends, it's because you are not supposed to have friends. You are supposed to have a tribe. None of us are supposed to have friends. Of course, most of us are not popular. It's hard to be popular. We're not supposed to be popular. We're supposed to depend on each other. Depending on each other is way different than being popular. If you know that you need each other, you are going to treat each other way different than if you think that you don't need each other. Do you see what I'm saying? So I'm trying to explain to you here that we're living on a balance. I'm trying to help us and bring us back into balance. And I'm going to do it by sharing a language of the heart. So I'm going to look at the chat in like 5 minutes. So I want you guys to put, I just had my permanent makeup done. That's why I put like, it's a little bit like glossy because I'm putting some Neosporin. So that's why my eyeliner and eyebrows, I just had them done. And I got my lip tattoo done too. I love permanent makeup. So here's more of my notes. Giving to honor the divine in each other. Isn't that beautiful? Imagine if we only gave to honor the divine in each other. And let me read more of my notes. It frees us by opening our heart, and this liberated love creates a joyous dance of unity and individuality. Our purpose is to heal and serve the earth, not only look out for ourselves and win market economy by accumulating riches. We don't want to win market economy. We want to depend on each other. I want to need each other. There's comments that I'm like, you guys are in a different world. You guys say stuff, it's just in a different world. I can't even respond to it. It's like, you guys are not living in the same world as me. Instead of getting more, the call of our heart is to give more. You and the source are one. You're God. You're the creative intelligence. You made everything. Look at it. You did it. Look at yourself, my sweet doobadoo. You did that too. You're the most lovable, sweet doobably blue in the world, and you are also the whole wide world. Stop being a passive participant and take control. That means that we stop using denial of choice. So stop being a passive participant and take control. I remember when I wrote that. Stop being a passive participant. We're suffering. Stop it. I'm going to liberate us. I don't care how long it takes. I'm going to do it. Some of you think that this is going nowhere. I have a ginormous loudspeaker and I'm never, ever going to stop. Okay? And I'm getting more and more famous, you guys. And every time I do my speeches, everyone knows who I am. Because in Venice Beach and Santa Monica, everyone knows who Daisy is. I'm A-list celebrity here. It would be like Donald Trump walking around somewhere because everyone knows me in Venice and Santa Monica. That's why I don't leave. Why would I go to West Hollywood where barely anyone knows me? Or Beverly Hills where people aren't going to recognize me and care about the work that I do as much? So I stay at the beach. Like a radio station, you could change your frequency. I talk about emotional alchemy, and I like thinking about our emotions as a radio station, because think about it. If you tune into a different vibrational reality, your internal state is going to create your reality. So let's say Daisy the Venice Healer is on the frequency of love, and I'm tuned into the radio station 100.5 FM, and you guys are tuned into AM radio, and you're in like 88.6, and you guys are thinking about what is wrong, and I'm thinking about how lovable and what would be even more wonderful and lovey-dovey to all of life. And you guys are busy thinking about what bill you have to pay and how you owe this thing and what you feel shame about. And that's a different frequency that you're tuning into. You could think about the same stuff, and by tuning into a different frequency, you will change your filter. And I can tell you how to do it right now. Ask an empowering question like this. Let's say I start thinking about what's wrong with me. Sometimes I'll feel shame about stuff I do, and I'll think about how embarrassing it was and how others might be thinking about me poorly and that they won't like me. And as soon as I start feeling shame, I will immediately replace that thought. And typically it'll be a mantra, and the mantra will be something like, I love you so much, you're so lovable. Or I will ask an empowering question. And the empowering question could be something like, what did I learn? And immediately when I ask, what did I learn? I can put all of my attention and focus. I can transmute and alchemize whatever shame I was feeling. And I can turn it into motivation, and I can learn. And then I no longer have to feel shame. And I'm telling you guys this because I used to always feel shame. And now I know I don't have to. So I want you guys to know that you do not have to feel shame and suffer. That is lame. And I want you to feel bodacious and amazing like I do. Develop a relationship with your feelings. Get to know your feelings and get to know your needs. And use that data. Instead of overriding the data of your feelings and needs, become an emotional alchemist and begin to use your needs as beautiful, delicious treats. And you could I'll give you an example. I saw a friend yesterday and I had a little outburst, and my friend was whoa, sorry, I didn't mean to offend you. Made a mistake. And I said, it's not about you. I need empathy. You didn't do something. What you did triggered something that was already inside of me that was hurting, and I need empathy. And I love you, and I want to treat you better, but the reason I can't be kind and sweet is because I'm upset and sad, and I need empathy. And my friend looks at me, and my friend says, okay. I care about you and you make sense. And it was kind of sarcastic, but just the fact that my friend put the effort in, the fact that my friend was trying to give me empathy made all of the difference. And I was able to immediately soften. And the second I was talking about my feelings and needs, it's not about what my person did that triggered me anymore. I'm not sitting here being upset at my friend now. Now my attention is on what my feelings and my needs are. And I'm no longer talking about what my friend did that is wrong. So that's one way that we can pull ourselves out of it. We can do it with others. If somebody is upset, we can help to give them empathy and guess, which is guessing their feelings and needs. Empathy is a need. So this is part of my notes. Develop a relationship with our feelings and needs, and using that data instead of overriding it because we're used to competing. Non-controversial and internal alert system. Yeah, that was my note. So it is the non-controversial essence of our communication. If you talk about what happened and what someone did, you're going to trigger their defenses immediately. So I want you guys to know that. I want you guys to know that if you're talking about what happened, what somebody said, what somebody did, whenever you start a sentence with you or why, then you're going to trigger their defenses. If you could talk about body sensations, feelings, and needs, you will be on top of the game. So I'm going to help you guys with that now. And then also another tool that we want to get really good at is making a request. Body sensations, feelings, needs, and then you want to be really good at making a request. Because once you have your feelings and needs, the person might just be sitting there not knowing what to do with it. So a request is in the present moment, in the here and now, and it's positive. So a request is not don't do that. That's not a request. A request would be could you tell me what you heard me say? Or let's say, in the case of my friend, let's say I've been triggered and I'm hurt and I want to make a request about the future. I'm not going to say something like, could you please be less selfish in the future? I'm not going to say that because number one, it's about the future and we want to make it in the present. So if I want to make it about the future, I want to make it in the present about the future. And the second thing that's wrong with that request is I'm talking about what I don't want. Anytime you tell someone what you don't want, you're going to attract more of what you don't want. They're going to start doing whatever you told them not to do. subconsciously, you're actually just telling them to do that. So instead of saying what not to do, it would sound something like this. Would you be willing, so let's say this person, I've identified like what's wrong with them is they're selfish. So I want to do the internal work, and I want to say, okay, well, if they're selfish, then what do I want them to be instead? So and then I want to get focused on my needs and what I want them to do. So I don't want to say something like, I want you to care about me, because that's not doable. I want it to be doable, present moment, and positive. So those three things: doable, present moment, positive. So doable would be something like, would you be willing to consider the impact on me when you're speaking to me? And if you're not sure, please call your empathy buddy before you come to me with an issue that you have with me. Because the way that you tell me how you feel and what you're needing, it doesn't give me a way forward of what will help. It triggers a lot of my defenses. And I'm noticing that I'm reaching my capacity and I'm feeling some emotional fatigue. And typically when I'm in that position and somebody is not giving me enough softness and vulnerability, then I pull away. So if that happens, and in the future I'm pulling away a little bit, you know that that's why. So if you cannot call an empathy buddy before you call me, and if you're not able to consider the impact of your words and use unconditional positive regard when speaking to me, then I will be fine. But I may need to pull my energy a little bit. It doesn't mean I'm ghosting you or outcasting you. It only means that now I need space because I am at capacity. So do you see how with each request, I have a bunch of moves. Like, this person does not have to do what I ask them to do, because then it is no longer a request. It is now a demand because of how I treat them afterwards. And I don't want that. I want to treat everyone with unconditional love, unconditional positive regard, unconditional belonging. And that means even if somebody is unable to meet me where I'm at, I'm not going to other and outcast them. I'm going to just let them know, hey, I'm going to meet you in your stage of developmental learning and growth. And this is how I interact with people in this stage, in my stage. And you can identify where you're at by target behaviors. Like, there's certain target behaviors that, like, if I'm around hitting, somebody's hitting me, that's a behavior that I remove myself from. I don't have the capacity to deal with that. If someone's hitting me, like, I'm going to remove myself if they're going to continue doing that. Another behavior is if someone's going to verbally abuse me, if someone's going to label, cuss at me, try to intentionally hurt me and say things to cause me to feel shame. So this is not something to enemy image. This is something to give empathy and love to. It is a call to love. And we honor our capacity when dealing with this attachment style. It is called disorganized attachment style, and it is nothing more than fight. Fight, flight, freeze, fawn, and then exploiting, using each other's bodies. The other F. So the 5 Fs, 3 have attachment styles. Disorganized is angry. So if someone is angry and violent, do not label them or enemy image them and say, oh, they're so angry and violent, I can't hang out with them. Don't do that, scoob. Because then you're creating a world of scarcity instead of healing and integration and togetherness. So instead, we just want to honor our capacity and find out what we're feeling and needing. We can be real neutral too, like, oh, that's totally fine. You're so lovable. It's okay that you're in the stage of hitting and biting. I actually was there before. I used to hit and bite too. And I don't like hitting and biting, so I don't do that anymore. I prefer to relate in more loving, life-affirming ways. However, I want to honor you and the stage of hitting and biting, because that is one of the honorable stages of development also. Hitting and biting is exciting. And I want you to enjoy all of the nourishing energies and wisdoms that come from hitting and biting. And when you are finished learning those lessons and you would like to have some compassionate communication, let me know. And if someone is a dismissive and avoidant attachment style, that's a little easier to do with, because when someone dismisses and avoids, it's like they're not being that abusive, they're just running away. But we also want to be careful of that. And then the other one is fawning. You want to be careful of these people, because these people, they don't have any needs. They only want to take care of your needs. Watch out for that. Because we all know what happens after that. You can only go so long suppressing all of your needs and having only everyone else's needs matter. So I'm ready to be in conversation with you guys. What are your struggles? I want to be in conversation so that you can have a conversation from the heart. What is happening for you? Tell me about an impossible rift that you cannot resolve. Is there somebody that you don't believe that you can find a way forward with? Is there a rupture in your relationship and you're just over it? You're done. What if I told you that you can find a language of the heart and you can find a way forward, and a way forward means that either we grow together or we grow apart, but either way, we're going to be growing. We're going to have a learning and growth mindset. We're not going to have an avoiding mindset. We're not going to have a competing mindset. We're going to have a learning and growth, collaborative, loving mindset. And we are going to shift out of this old way of thinking, strategizing, evaluating, denying our choice, using deserved language, judging ourselves, judging each other. We're going to move out of that consciousness. We're going to move into a higher frequency. So Renee says, my son hates me and I don't know what to do anymore. Aww. And then I have another goddess who has a son with a disability, and another goddess who's overwhelmed by her mother's death, dealing with litigation and feeling alone. See how beautiful that is? Do you guys feel all the heaviness coming off our chests? What is wrong? Put it in the chat. I'm going to read it out loud. I'm feeling overwhelmed by my mother. She's not dead. And then I've got us dealing with CPS, right? So we got a lot of heaviness. Someone's mom died. And Goddess Renee has someone being disrespectful to her. And we have another goddess dealing with a divorce. She's only 24. And then someone else whose boyfriend is always dismissing. Never been to a rainbow gathering. Feeling alone. Okay, cool. So you guys gave me some stuff to go on. So we have the mom whose son, she feels like her son hates her. We've got a mom who's got a special needs son. We've got the daughter who's grieving her mom. And we're going to give empathy, because someone says, I'm scared of someone who I thought I loved that may be violent. Yeah, that's scary. Yeah, when we love someone and they're violent. You want to know what's even scarier when we love someone and they're violent? Is if we don't have a tribe. And if we believe in lies like the nuclear family construct. Right? And then we have all kinds of separation and scarcity. Of course you're feeling how you're feeling, my doobadoos. Get over here. Give me a hug right now. Come here. You guys are so sweet. You make sense. Of course course you're feeling how you feel. I feel very tender and soft right now, having witnessed you guys and what you're going through. You're going through a lot, just like me. And it is sad, and it is hard, and it is overwhelming. And you want to know something? When we love someone, and if they're angry or violent, or if we think they hate us, we're not getting the connection that we need. We don't have the reassurance that we need so that we can trust that our interdependence and our connection with this person. Interdependence is not codependence, by the way. Interdependence means you care about me and I care about you, and both of our needs matter to each other. So first I'm going to talk to the mom who thinks her son hates her. So if I have a son who hates me, I'm going to join him there. I'm going to give him a space to vent because I'm a mother, and I'm going to assume that you're like me. With my children, I'm going to have way more of a bandwidth, way more capacity. I'm going to have a much longer fuse to be able to listen to what is wrong with me. If the mama who says that her son hates her, and I want to be in conversation with you, so go ahead and answer me in the chat. I've tried, but my son, he ignores my calls. I know it's his dad that tells him what to do. Yeah, you're experiencing parental alienation like me. So obviously what I'm doing is not working because I'm still getting parentally alienated, but I'm going to tell you what I do, okay? Because it's the language of the heart. The language of the heart is going to tell you to love. And in order to love your son who hates you, you have to cry buckets of tears. Because that's very painful when our child is choosing to not talk to us. I know how that feels. That hurts. If someone says, you don't know what happened, tell me what happened. I want to know. And he won't talk. Brittany says he ignores, he won't talk. So if he's not even talking to you, then if I were you, I would create some kind of like message in the universe. And I assume that you and your son talk to people and that the messages go around and get to each other. So this is not gossip because we're going to be speaking a language of the heart. It's gossip if you talk about what's wrong. You are not going to talk about things like, my son hates me. My son doesn't want to talk to me. His dad tells me not to call me. Even though that's all true. With your son and with the people who are going to get the message back to your son, you're going to want to say things like, of course my son feels like he feels. He makes complete sense. Because when that message gets back to him, the first piece is acknowledgement. And if somebody is hurting and is upset, the very first thing that they need, even before they need empathy, they need acknowledgement. That their reality and your reality are shared. And they are going to have acknowledgement even if, so by having shared reality, it doesn't mean that you agree. By having shared reality, it means, yes, I acknowledge that this is your truth and this is what it was like for you. And this is how it happened in your world. Thank you for telling me. That's acknowledgement. So after acknowledgement, then you're also going to want, and you're going to do all of this together. You're going to be acknowledging, yes, of course you're angry. Goddess, I know that you didn't do anything to make your son not call you because your son should be calling you because you're his mama. I could feel how loving you are. I want to give you a hug and a kiss because you're such a loving mom. I could tell. So I just want you to know you're really loving. You're going to have to pretend like your lovability is not super duper important, even though it is super duper important. And we're going to have to focus just on acknowledging and thinking about what we can learn. And the biggest thing with helping to dissolve an enemy image that's not in us and in somebody else is acknowledgement, shared reality, joining them. You may have to do this with your son's dad if you want to have a better result, because and I know that sucks. I do the same thing with my mom because my mom alienates me from my kids. So I go and talk to my mom about, I say the stuff to her that I want to say to the kids. And I would give a lot of acknowledgement, and then I would give empathy, and I would have a desire to work on myself. Because when our kids are mad at us, and when someone who cares about us and who we love and loves us is upset, it's really important that we learn about that. And we can say things like, so the first piece is acknowledging. The second piece is mourning, and you can talk about your actions that you wish you didn't do. So after we acknowledge, then we want to say like what we're sad about. And then we want to, after mourning, comes positive reframing. And now we're going to say what we would rather do. I'm going to look in the chat again, Goddess. So let me see if you want to respond again. I'm going to respond to some comments too. Sometimes when I see really mean comments, I like to respond. Rob says, this is not a mean comment, it's true. It's true what you say, Rob. Your kids are missing a mother, and you're not present, yet you're giving advice. Yeah, I am giving advice. I'm talking about a language of the heart, something I know a lot about because I had to learn the language of the heart, because while I was getting alienated from my kids, I was not speaking a language of the heart, and I was alienating myself from the caregivers and from my social worker, and I'm paying dearly for that. Paying dearly for my actions in the past. To this day, I pay for those actions. And I live without my kids every day for the past almost 7 years. It's very, very painful. And I'm an expert at a language of the heart and parental alienation because of my experience. And just like I said, my kids don't talk to me. They are still not talking to me. And I am giving advice about children and being alienated from kids and having fights with kids because I am an expert on that. And I'm an expert at a language of the heart. I know I'm an expert at the language of the heart because whenever I hear something that's not loving, I can feel it in my body. And I'm always looking of ways to reframe things. So I want to talk more about me not being with my kids. You guys realize that that's very unnatural, don't you? You realize that parents are not supposed to be alienated from their kids, right? That's not supposed to happen. So we live in a world that's out of balance, so that means we need to wake up and liberate ourselves. It means we're superheroes. We can't be available for the quid pro quo. You want to know what else it means? It means if they could take away my kids, a gorgeous genius like me, they could take away your kids too. My kids were not taken away because I was hitting them and screaming in their face and getting blackout drunk and using cocaine and chain smoking cigarettes and leaving them alone. And my kid, there was a lot of stuff going on that the authorities didn't know. And I was violent and everyone got hit. I hit the elders, I hit the animals, I hit the babies. Everyone got hit. Even my intimate partners, it didn't matter. I was very violent. And I know what it's like to be violent. I know what it's like to work on myself and to go from having target behaviors where I stopped doing that, and then literally having to deal with my brain now, because I may not be doing it, but I'm imagining doing it in my brain. So now I have to literally do the work in my head, not just my actions. I'm an expert. That's why I'm giving advice on this, okay? That's why I'm giving advice, because I am an expert on a language of the heart, and on being loving, and on keeping families together and creating tribes and dissolving constructs that are lies, dissolving nuclear families, dissolving schools, dissolving workplaces, dissolving governments, dissolving merit-based systems where our universal needs are withheld from us, causing us to all separate and mobilize. Our world was created to emerge in abundance, a flow of abundance of our needs getting met. We're supposed, like, the whole model and design is a tree grows and has so much fruit that the whole ground is covered with rotting fruit because the fruit cannot get eaten enough. And it goes beyond that. The planet pays attention. So you're eating the fruit from that tree and the fruit is still falling on the ground because there's so much. It's just rotting all over the ground, going back into the earth. And the food that you eat, every time you go to the bathroom, you're telling the earth, I love this food. It's delicious. Please give me more. And more will grow next spring where you just went to the bathroom. You will have more to eat of what you just ate. That is the nature of abundance. Okay? Families together and parental alienation is directly tied into that tree that got cut down with all of the fruit on it. Okay? That's what I have to say about that. I'm going to end this live because they gave me 2 restrictions because let's see what I do. Can't talk about drugs or addiction. It's just silly because I'm sober. I should be able to talk about it. And regulated goods. It's ridiculous. All right. So they're going to restrict healing. So we have to tickle, torture, TikTok now. Tickle, 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 and dissolve them just like all other domination systems. I'm going to end this live stream and I'm going to restart it. Okay? We're going to do more healing circle. So come with your struggles so we can be in conversation.